probably 2011, 2012. I thought that I want to make a product in the industry, and it seemed like a grip would be a cool idea. So I started asking around what grip companies would be into doing a collab with me. Dave Durham from Fox Racing says, hey, I know that ODI company, that they do collabs. So I go on their website and I actually get the email address info@ODI, and I just cold emailed them. Hey, this is Jeff Emig. I'm interested in doing a project. I want to know if you guys would like to do a collaboration. Love to talk about my ideas, if somebody could get back to me. I get an email back from Kevin Stevens, who's the former Power Sports brand manager for ODI. He says, okay, well, yeah, we'd love to meet with you. I said, okay, where are you guys located? I had no idea. He says, well, we're in Riverside, California. It turns out ODI is right down the street from my house. I never knew that. So we talked about the ideas of what I wanted to do, and I said, oh, I want to do a half waffle, this and that. But they showed me that first day, they showed me the first versions, the V1 Lock-On, which had like 2 clamps and a lot of like little pieces and all this. And then Kevin also says, hey, we've got this new grip, this V2 Lock-On, the second version of this clamp-on lock-on grip. And I'm kind of like, I don't really know about that. I'm looking at this like throttle cam that snaps on and this clamp, and it seems like it's got this little Allen. And I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know. I just want to do a glue-on grip. So he said, okay, let's talk about your ideas with designs and what you want as far as the feel of the grip and the look and branding and all of that. And in the meantime, Kevin's like, hey, would you try that lock-on grip? And like, okay, I'll try it. Okay. Fully had like doubts and preconceived notions about the grip being hard, and like feeling fat and like all of these things. And then I rode with it, and I was kind of like, well, I really like this. And then there was the issue of the lock-on system. Every time that I rode, I would like check it. Nowadays I never check it. I put it on once it's done. Then it started to hit me like, wow, this is actually a pretty awesome design. Then it's like, well, what if we did a V2 lock-on grip? And then it's like, bing, bing, bing. Everybody at ODI, myself, it was like, this is the direction that we need to go. And then I went, okay, wait, like how many of these do you sell right now? And nobody else makes a lock-on grip, in other sports and mountain bikes and things like that. Those were becoming popular, but in the moto industry, nobody had it. And that was the big light bulb moment. That was when, wow, I have the opportunity to do something pretty revolutionary with my first grip, which became the Emig grip, and this V2 lock-on system that ODI had designed. The next step was that we needed to design the Emig grip. I thought we need to make something different, another option of the V2. With the logo and the icon, I wanted that to be really loud and proud. Technically, it's 3 colors. The plastic tube is a color, and you can see the gold in the end here. And then we did 2 layers of rubber. So there's 3 molds. First pass is plastic, and then 2 colors of rubber. And so the rubber is actually chemically bonded to the plastic tube. So it's not like, this isn't a grip that is put on over a tube, like it's all chemically bonded together. That's what makes it so amazing. But to do each one of these colors and to have all of this contrast is really, really difficult with the molds. The technical parts of this original Emig grip are pretty insane. The tool is a very, very complicated tool, but they pulled it off, and then we ended up releasing it in late November of 2013. The story of the V2 lock-on grip hadn't really been told before. And so with the original Emig grip, I started to tell the technical story of what the lock-on system is. Every supercross I would go to, every motocross I'd go to, I'd get with the sales reps. I was hitting dealers. I mean, if there was supercross on Saturday, I was at a dealer 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dealers on Friday. We're working through the years, and the growth on the Emig V2 lock-on was just exceptional. I mean, we're making more and more every month. We're telling the story of the V2 Lock-On. I'm hitting dealers. We're doing advertising. And then came the time when ODI signed the RCH Suzuki team. And with that, of course, came Ricky Carmichael, dear friend of mine. And he says, hey, I want to run the Emig Grip. So he had the Jimmy John's thing going at the time, and he's like, I want a red and black grip. So we did a red and black original Emig Grip. Having the endorsement of a guy like Ricky, it gave the V2 system and the Emig Grip a lot of credibility, because people were still kind of wondering about the lock-on system. I'm fully sold on it by this time. So Ricky starts using it. We make him a soft compound red and black grip, and then we got that endorsement from Ricky, and that was a major feather in our cap and just another milestone for the Emig Grip. I had the desire and the ideas that I wanted to make the second grip, and very specific, like let's push the limits again, and this time I wanted to be called the Emig Pro, and this is a very specific motocross, supercross, pro level grip. This time I get together with a designer by the name of Todd Covey, and we started brainstorming about what the grip design would be, what the feel has to be, what are the capabilities of colors, and just everything involved. At this point I had the development experience of the original Emig Grip, and so I just really conceptualized something completely different. Of course, it was going to be a V2 lock-on. It was going to be 3 color, but it could actually be more colors than that when you take the color of the clamp and all this. And the one thing that we did different is we decided to put the alloy end cap in, and that is one of the things that sets the Emig Pro apart from every other grip on the market. One thing where we just nailed it together, the tooling team and production and everyone at ODI, is the feel of the Emig Pro. It came out just absolutely amazing. I mean, we have a convex shape to the knurling, which you can't see by the naked eye, but the grip is narrower on the ends and fatter in the middle. Plus with the JE icon that's in the middle, we raise that. What that does is it gives a lot of cushion on your palm area without the grip feeling fat or feeling big. And then of course with the traction ribs being designed like they are, with the undercut and the notches in it, it just really added a really tremendous amount of traction and a great feel. In 2017, we started showing designs of the Emig Pro, but it still wasn't into a production yet. And the anticipation from dealers that would see it, other riders and friends, everyone was so excited because they saw the look of the grip. I would talk to them about the features, the things that I wanted to accomplish. We wanted to accomplish with this grip, and then it was delayed. And we kept having issues with tooling because, like I said, ODI allowed me and then us together with the team to really try to push the limits of what can be done. We shot for the moon, and then eventually you kind of have to pull it back. Okay, let's come back to reality, and then thinking about not just the design, but then how is it in production and all these other elements that the average consumer would never know goes into a product like this. Johnny Jumpet came on board at that time as the Power Sports brand manager. He came in and joined the company right in the middle of this whole Emig Pro development. So I don't envy that position at all. But it's crazy, you look back on it, and we had done like a year's worth of sales rep meetings talking to them about the upcoming Emig Pro, but we hadn't delivered it yet. And so now we're back another year later. It's getting close. We're almost there. Any day now. I mean, the anticipation and the excitement to get this next product out, it was just building and building and building. And then finally in 2018, we were able to run production on the very first Emig Pros. I remember being really stoked, like, hey, has it shipped yet? Has any grip shipped yet? When's it gonna ship? And that first day that the Emig Pro shipped was like, finally. But it was great to get those first grips on the truck and shipped out. By this point in 2018, I was already so thankful and just happy that I'd made the decision to go with the V2 lock-on system. I mean, it is the gold standard in the industry for off-road grips. So now we've got the original Emig's out, all these colorways, customers love it. And so I know that I felt pretty good about the Emig Pro. I felt pretty good about what we had accomplished. But until you get that customer feedback, that's the validation. They start coming back. And I mean, the positive feedback was just incredible. And once again, best grips ever. Best grips, period. I love these grips. Oh my God, I have them on all my bikes. Just a crazy amount. And you're thinking, okay, yeah, this is a product that we do. This is what we do. We make grips. But it has like a cult following to it. The people that run the Emig Pro, they are like, I will not run anything else ever until you make the next generation. We launched with 4 colors and then had this idea, which was part marketing, part colorway, was to do this blackout grip. Because everybody in motocross, they love black. I mean, I'm wearing all black right now, right? So I decided, hey, let's do a fully blacked out grip, black alloy, black rubber, black plastic, everything. And then we had these concepts for what the marketing would be. So between Todd Covey and Andy Taylor, who I worked really close with on all the creative stuff, we just came up with some really cool stuff. And that's when you really start to have fun with it. And the blackout grip specifically, it's in the line today. It was possibly just going to be like a limited edition, but it's motocross. Black's going to be your #1 seller. And so, yeah, we went with it. That was awesome. One moment that really was important for the Emig Pro was when Justin Cooper on the Star Racing Yamaha team, which was sponsored by ODI, I spoke to him about running the Emig Pro grip. And for me, the endorsement had to be genuine. I said, hey, I talked to him about the grip. We met, we had dinner. Would you be interested in trying the Emig Pro? Because keep in mind, most pro riders, they go, oh, just soft, half waffle, in the story. So he said, yeah, I'd be interested. And I told him, I said, look, I need you to genuinely want to run this grip or don't even worry about it. Take some grips out to Milestone. He's riding Supercross, right? This is the fall of 2019. Throw some grips on, tries them. Says, man, I really, really like this grip. So we did a deal. This was the first time that the Emig Pro grip was being used by a rider that legitimately had a chance at winning a Supercross event. So thankful to all the privateer and support riders that have chosen the Emig Pro. They've done a great job for us and we're extremely thankful. But now is that time for the product to get that endorsement at the very highest level. So we signed Justin Cooper to run the Emig Pro at the end of 2019. And then he goes out and wins the opening round of Monster Energy Supercross in Anaheim.
Running the Emig Pro grips now, stoked on those.
It was such an amazing night. And it was crazy because I've been involved with different brands over the years, whether it's race teams and brands and Shift. And this time it was just different. And yes, it's one little part on the motorcycle, but it was so awesome. And the feeling of knowing that Justin went out and won a Monster Energy Supercross using the Emig Pro grip. It's like, wow, that's a grip that I designed and that was on his bike. You kind of feel like you get to feel a little part of that win, like you were part of it. And so I was eternally grateful for the effort that Justin Cooper put in while he was using the Emig Pro grip when he was with ODI. That partnership with Justin Cooper and the Star Racing Yamaha team was really important to the success of the Emig Pro. He had an amazing Supercross season. He goes out and wins motocross events and really gave the Emig Pro that top level validation that I really think that it needed. And the consumers see that and they say, wow, if this grip's good enough for Justin Cooper, then it's good enough for me. I just kept getting these comments on the Emig Pro or on social media about the Emig Pro. I have them on every bike I own. Those are badass, bro. The technology of these grips are amazing. They set perfectly inside the bend of your fingers. Best by far. Thank you. Great work. I mean, I love my grips. The Emig Pro are on every bike. Favorite grip out there. Best grips, period. Those are dope. Like, it's just over and over. These customer reviews on the Emig Pro have just been, I mean, it's just mind-blowing, you know? And, you know, constantly, these are the best grips ever. Making a product and designing a product that's so specific, it makes you feel good that the work you've done, the work that we've done here at ODI, with the design team and tooling and production, that we're making something that the consumer loves. It's a good feeling, This project here with ODI, I started it over 8 years ago when that first email went out. So here we are more than 8 years later, and the success of the original Emig Grip and the Emig Pro and our partnership has just been amazing. And I'm so thankful to the sales reps, the dealers that decided to bring the grips into their dealerships or to sell online, and then to all of our customers that took a chance on the V2 Lock-On Grip and the Emig Grip and eventually the Emig Pro. I'm so thankful to them. And it's hard to believe that it's been 8 years now. And I just feel like we're just getting started. There are more grips that I want to make. We want to fine tune things. Of course, more colorways. But the fact that our customers think that the Emig Pro is the best grip ever that means a lot to me.